I'm be like, man, the mama.
I should totally put that in the video.
You should.
You're so funny.
Okay.
Okay, well, first of all, thanks for making me feel so comfortable.
No doubt.
Yeah. I'll introduce myself. I'm T.Tspeaks online.
T.Tspeaks.
But, my name is Tony. I'm doing these interviews. I'll just jump right into my why.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't grow up with a dad. And we had a little bit of conversation about it over the phone. And so I'm 32. I don't really have like much experience with relationships. Well, not good relationships. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, I really want to get in front of my relationships. Okay. You know what I'm saying? My future relationships that I may have. How do I do that without really having a good understanding of the black man? Mm. So here we are. I want to interview you and just kind of ask you just a few questions, get your take on some things, and just have a good time.
Let's do it.
You good to curse?
I like man, cursing. I might do it just a little bit.
So let's. I want to. So I forgot to introduce you.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Barry Axius.
Yes.
CEO and founder of Voice of the Youth, a nonprofit mentor leadership program for young black men and women. Mm-hmm. But I am for all. I'm for all children, but I focus on young black men and women from the ages 12 to 25.
Okay. And I remember
10 years will be officially 2018. 10 years marks the anniversary of Voice of the Youth. I started in 2008.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Are you gonna have like some type of party?
Man, I'm gonna be. Hey, let's get it. No, we're gonna. We're gonna do like we do our annual crab feed. Mm-hmm. This whole year is gonna just be dedicated on just an adventure and just highlighting the youth, highlighting the different stories and the different things that has got me and led me to this part, this journey that I decided to take. That folks thought I was crazy about doing, but I decided to say, hey, you know what? This is what I believe is my purpose in life. Yeah. My journey is to give back, to use my story as a catalyst for change, and to mentor or direct young people, not just young men but women as well, because I have a daughter.
Yes.
Who is 21 years old. Okay. I know I don't look like I'm right? All right. But anyway, and it's just been a glorious ride. It's been a glorious ride, watching growth, watching development. There's been tragedy, but there's also been a lot of triumph.
So you're already answering the first question. We are already in sync. My first question is, take me on a journey of the last 10 years of your life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Finding myself.
Yeah.
Finding my purpose, finding my passion, and finding what I'm really addicted to. And what I'm addicted to is creating change within myself and creating change within people. That's like my addiction. I don't, at one particular time in my life, I think I was about, I need to change everybody. But then I started looking at it, the way you attack it is you give information, and you watch them grow, you water some seeds, and sometimes you just step back. But as long as you're laying down foundation, because as I grew up, my father always laid down foundation. My dad didn't directly ever say certain things. Parents back in the day especially, it was like, yo, like, okay, like, so what am I? It's like riddles. So my father, by example, leading through it, was setting out foundations that when I screwed up, I knew the foundational work that he had put up there, that I was always going to go back to it. So it was always foundational work that kind of led me to where I'm at right now.
Got it.
Because I was a badass.
Tell me about being a badass.
Ooh. I sold every kind of drug that you can imagine. Yeah. I did a little bit of everything. I hustled. I was a hustler. I was one of those young dudes. I wasn't a hustler to the extent that I was so street, like to the point where I just lost it, because that never was my nature, because I saw my father. Like, I had my father in my household. The opposite was I didn't have my mother. My mother, unfortunately, was diagnosed with schizophrenia, right? So she was ill from the time that I can remember. So I never naturally had my mother in those mothering moments.
Was she in the household, or what was her
She
status?
was in the household because my father saw that it affecting me, my brother, especially myself. I think I was in 5th grade. We had moved from New York, and we were in the Bay Area now. And my mother had, what I found out most recently, my mother had actually followed my father.
Okay.
Yeah, my father left her, but she
Yeah.
followed him from New York to the Bay Area.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, and so they was trying to work it out or whatever like that, and she got sick, just got worse, and I didn't. And the one thing about my family, they never discussed what actually happened.
Okay.
So she ended up, from what I know, schizophrenia, and my father went and found her when she was missing for like probably a year, and actually moved her in the crib.
Okay.
So he had her living with us, but they weren't in a relationship. She had her own little room, and he was taking care of her.
Wow, how did that affect you?
Oh man, that was probably the worst thing he probably could have did, because we didn't know what was wrong with her.
Yeah.
So it was like,
she would just have like outbursts and stuff like that. Yeah.
Man, all the time.
Yeah.
And she's having outbursts, or she's talking to herself.
How traumatic is that?
I think it's very traumatic for a young person when you don't know.
Yeah.
Because you see your mother in this state, in this condition,
right,
and you just think that she's weird.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't know that she has a condition. You just think that she's weird. And no one's telling you, hey, son, by the way, your mom has a condition. And I think throughout my years when I was younger, I was going through all type of therapy and different things of that nature. But at the same time, I didn't really necessarily know why. Like, I didn't know. No one ever talked to me about those different things. So I think that kind of led to me actually doing this kind of work, giving back, the giving nature of my father, because my dad didn't have to do any of that. I commend him for that, even though I think the intent was good, but the delivery was probably wrong, because me and my brother had no idea what was going on, right?
Yeah.
But he still was noble enough to have my mom, because she could have been on the streets.
Right. And a lot of them do end up on the streets.
Oh, yeah. And that's hindsight, when after me getting older, my father going back, moving to his homeland of Haiti, because I'm full-blooded Haitian.
Okay.
Right? Sac passe. Americanized, though, but I'm full-blooded Haitian. So with that being said, my father went back to his homeland when I was, I think, 19 years old. I had to call the hospital on my mother to get her, because she was no longer taking medications. But that was like from 18 to 19. That was like the real time I kind of had my mom for myself, cooking, cleaning. My father would never let her do any of that.
Okay.
So she was just moving and grooving like I would want my mother to do, right?
Okay.
Then he was no longer taking care of the house, because he wasn't coming back to California, right? And my mother couldn't come with me, because I was going to have to try to find my own place, and I couldn't take care of my mom. So she went to the hospital, and then my mom was missing for 21 years. And I just most recently found her in New York. So she went from the Bay Area to New York. Don't ask me how.
Wow.
Yeah. So for 21 years, I have this tattoo that I got, like in probably it was 95.
Your mom was missing for
21 years. So that's was lost love, never forgotten. So I thought she was dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we're dealing with that, and it's crazy, because now my daughter has to deal with that.
Yeah.
My daughter has always asked, "Where's her grandma? Where's her grandma?" So she just met her recently, and I told her, "Don't get your hopes up high, because this is what's going on." And so she saw her, and it was a relief to her, because she got to finally see her grandmother, kind of know where her lips come from, her breasts, whatever.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a chapter that was closed. But that moment right there, I think because of that, and not really having a strong relationship with my father, it created the person who I am, for the good and for the bad.
You just dropped a bomb on me on this whole interview.
That's what we're supposed to do, drop bombs. It's like, you're like, oh my God, epiphany. It's real life, girl.
It is.
It's more to me than just a loud mouth. Folks be trying to think that it's like, oh yeah, I'm like a Teflon Don, but there's a lot of stuff that I've had to deal with and overcome to get to the point where I'm at and understand my purpose.
I think I hear what you're saying too. And me coming from a mental health background in school, I'm a social worker. I have my master's in social work.
Shoot, I need to get on the couch and you can just diagnose me. Well, Barry, you're diagnosed with.
Oh my God.
Free of charge, please.
Stop. I know that when you separate the person from the mental illness, it makes it easier to kind of digest that space. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
And so I just wanted to leave that there. I hope that kind of supports in some way. Let's go on to the next question. I think you hit on this one too. Tell me more about some of the challenges that you face as a Black man living in today's society.
Yeeks. I think that The unfortunate thing, I remember growing up in California, when I came from the East Coast, separated from my family, which I still sometimes I ask I don't know why we like left, because all our family was centered in the East, and it had a lot more Haitian roots, right, in the East Coast.
Yeah.
And we came to California, so I don't know what everyone was migrating, or what the plan was. We all going to come down here.
Right.
One of my biggest challenges when I remember growing up as I was a youngster was the fact that not only did I not fit in the white society, but I didn't also fit in the black society.
Yeah.
Because I was Haitian. I was full-blooded Haitian.
Okay.
And my friends who were black would used to tell me that you're not really black.
What does really black look
exactly,
like?
right? So I'm looking at them and, well, you know.
I know, we're the same color.
But because I'm not from America, right,
Okay.
even though I was born in New York,
Yeah.
I have family that's immigrants. So that's not considered black. And that's just the just the trauma of learning a history that's not really ours, right? From school, kind of transitioning us to think that this is what we are,
right,
and we really aren't, and not knowing your culture, not knowing your history.
Yeah.
I'm damn near more black than you. I come from
For
a revolutionary background, mother effer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Or you
but
can say it all right.
motherfucker, right? But because I did not know my own history, and I'm trying to fit in, I almost pushed my culture when I should have embraced it and should have been like, oh, I'm Haitian and speaking Sawa and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of was like, I want to get fit in with my black friends. But then I also want to fit in with my white friends. So it was almost like I'm trying to be accepted on two different sides.
Yeah.
And I never fit in. So in reality, a black man is always trying to find his lane and trying to fit in something where he feels comfortable. Why, in hindsight, young black brothers stick with these cultures, like these gangs, these street ties, and this is what they show you are, and this is what I feel more comfortable with. So that's why it's so hard for black males to break out that mold, because this is the most comfortable I am. I'm with all these people that look like me, act like me, have the same kind of deficiencies as me, got the same kind of pain as me, got the same kind of setbacks as me, got the same kind of blockage as me, whatever. So those trials and tribulations, I'll adapt to that with them. Okay. So it's almost difficult for us to move out of that lane because we're so adapted to what we feel is really us. Myself, I never fit in those shoes. I tried to. Like, I have a size 12, and it was like I'm trying to fit in a size 10. I just did that because it was accepted and socially accepted, and said, hey, you know what? All these 3 black kids don't have fathers. I did. I acted like I was another black kid without a father. Because I didn't know, whoa, you Negroes don't got fathers. Because I just assumed every kid had a father. So I think that coming up, me being so naive, and I would say game goofy, but also having a lot of game and not understanding self was always something that I think combated me. And I think that with the black male, our issue is feeling and understanding who self is ultimately like one of the biggest challenges. Like, who am I? And when I find out who am I ready to challenge all those stereotypes? Am I ready to challenge those people that are going to look at me and be like, oh, you a square. Oh, you ain't real. Oh, you ain't gangster. Like all these different things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I hear you. I hear you completely. Because it's like there's so many like identities that you guys could kind of take on to. You can be like an athlete, you can be a hip hop star, you can be a gangster, you can be a family man, you know, you could be a coon or a Tom, you know what I'm saying? You could be so
many. I mean, it can be you know, the gigolo, the playboy.
Yes.
And there's all these different things that you're surfaced on. Like, which one do you fit? And when you want to be socially accepted, but then you want to be accepted by your own people that look like you, and more of us trend to be like on the negative side, well, what am I going to be? You know what I'm saying? I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
Chris Brown came out, is your man on the floor? And you like, oh my God, look at Chris Brown. He's such a sweet little guy. And then all of a sudden, he's Thug Immortal.
Yeah.
Now, was that a shift, or was that really him the whole time and he just was playing a role, right? So a lot of the times, like, I had the great opportunity to be around Tupac coming in Marin, right?
Okay.
When I was a little youngster. So, you know what I'm saying? Me and my brother and one of these other dudes that we called our cousin back in the day, we opened up for Tupac at his little first record release party.
Incredible.
But Tupac was in our era, right?
Yes,
and I used to go in there, listen to them freestyle, sneaking into the parties with the older ones, right?
Yeah.
And I watched Tupac be a guy that was like, he was really just a rapper, turn into super thug, and he really wasn't like that, right? But did he have all of the struggle or the pain to be that? For sure.
Yeah.
He did. But the streets raise you and make you so cold that you have to adapt in your environment. It's either kill or be killed.
For sure.
So even being that we were living, as I was living in Marin, and folks would say, Marin? Oh, no, that's Richie Rich.
It is, yeah.
It's not. And it wasn't the way when I was growing up. The niggles was cutthroat. The racism was high.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? You were just trying to get in where you fit in. So I had to embody what I saw and I believe was me, even though it really wasn't me.
Yeah.
So it didn't really fit who I was. It just was like, what am I going to do?
And there's people that have that sense where they believe that they are someone else, a thug, and they can make a mistake in an instant and ruin their whole lives and go to jail, or someone can get hurt. And it's
think about
exhausting.
it. Exactly. Thinking about it. Tupac died at 25, and he was so much more than what everyone depicted him to be.
Yeah,
right?
he was.
But he was all that he was. That's what made him so real, because he identified with every particular piece of who he was. He was an artist. He was a poet. You know, he was a thug. He was a revolutionary. You know what I'm saying? So these things, black males, we're a little bit of everything. But now we tend to say, I'm going to pick this one, and I'm going to stay right here. What saved me is my father being who he was, my aunties who were my mother figures at the particular times, being who they were, having such a stable, foundationally correct way of living, that hard work, I watched that and absorbed that.
Right.
They weren't smoking crack.
Yeah.
They weren't, in dysfunctional things.
Right.
I saw that. So when I drifted off, I knew how to come back.
Yes.
Where a lot of my other friends, all they saw was dysfunction.
Yeah.
The only kind of structure that they saw was coming to my crib. Oh, you got food at that? Yeah, I got food. What you talking about? Don't you got food at the crib? Like they moms or whoever's out there cooking maybe twice a week. Yeah. Well, my dad, who did the most of the cooking in my family, he cooked every day. And if he didn't cook every day, we had enough leftovers to last us for that day. That's what my dad was. He woke up in the morning, he took his ass to work, he came back, and my dad was a sharp dude. Like he was fly. Like, Casanova kind of fly. You know what I'm saying?
So your family, your foundation really helped you stay anchored.
Yes.
Even though, drifting, you were drifting in a lifeboat somewhere else in the chaos of life, and even making your own decisions that weren't so good.
Yes, ma'am.
You still had that foundation to kind of pull you back in whenever you needed.
My foundation was built on bricks. It wasn't built on just sticks.
Yeah.
So that's what that pretty much saved me. Seriously,
because
I would have because I was so bad to a point when I was young doing all the wild stuff. I remember one time a homeboy of mine got killed. I was 16 years old. We had went to the Bay Area because I'm in Marin County, so we went to deeper into the Bay Area in Oakland. Yeah. And there was a drive-by, and it shot up a whole car. And the unfortunately they'd hit my man's, but it was shooting all through the back window. I had threw my friend, saved my friend. I'm thinking I got hit. We wake up. I'm like, damn, what the hell's happening? He's like, oh man, I got hit. We drive him to the hospital, and here's my dude dead.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I'm saying? And you would think that would wake us up, but we kept on going. Sold major drugs. I mean, just did so much stuff to get me caught up, locked up in jail. I've never, with all the stuff that I've done in my life, I've never gone to jail. Yeah. And I've been to juvenile hall, but I think that's a testimony. Because had I started and went to jail, we wouldn't be having this interview right now. Because I would have probably been stuck. Yeah. Because it took me as an adult man at the age of probably early 30s to finally say I'm done. Wow. I'm over the game. Like I'm over trying to figure it out. I'm over being 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and that will tell you the relevance of that when a black man is so in search of himself, how long sometimes it takes. Now, had I gone back and forth to jail, who would have known? I might have found myself in jail,
Yeah.
but as soon as I get back on the streets, I'm right back
You
to that
would've been-
same guy that I
yeah,
was.
Yeah. Wow. Let me get to the next question.
Oh, let's do it.
I think, and just to comment on what you said, I think I call us the lost generation. I'm a 1985 baby.
Ooh.
And I feel like the 1990s and up, and even my generation, like, we don't have that foundation that you said that you had growing up.
I got lucky.
Yeah. And I feel like that's part of the problem right now in society is that we don't have, we're being raised on sticks as opposed to, like you said, bricks.
Right, man. Like my father,
So, yeah.
I learned how to cook from my father. I learned how to work ethic from my father. And that's just, and it's not anything he said. It's just example. That's why I tell folks, I'm not a role model. I'm a real model.
Yeah.
I'm flawed. I'm not, don't look at me. I'm not Tiger Woods. That's a role model. Because he's playing a role. Like I'm a real model.
Yes,
so, like I try to, as best as possible, do everything that my father did great and do everything my father did bad and change it up with my own child. About the nurturing part, the talking piece, about understanding how, as I tell my friends, as my daughter got into college, yo, I'm not her parent no more, I'm her advisor.
That's
allowing
right.
her to grow, letting her live, and
Right.
you want your child to be the best child to possibly be, but having to hold my tongue and be like, whoa, I don't really, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Advising,
Not
parenting.
Not parenting.
And then still being able to give her a life, like traveling and showing her different things and introducing her to stuff before she gets to introduce it to herself.
For sure.
Right? So, those are the kind of things I look at it that I don't think a lot of parents do, or a lot of black men. I don't know. We have a real bad issue. We indirectly misguide our sons or don't participate, and then we don't understand the challenges that our daughters will have when we just say, hey, figure it out yourself, or you're better without me.
Yeah. To touch on that real quick, and then we're going to get to the next question. It was revealed to me just in like meditation and just self-reflection, because I said earlier that I didn't grow up with a dad. And no picture, no text message, no phone call, like no contact, zero contact.
Crazy.
Like I don't even know where I get my licks from. You know what I'm saying?
That's wild.
Like it's incredible, right? But it was revealed to me that he had to leave. He was not good enough to raise me. I was so badass. Like God was going to have me in such a way where he just used him and my mom as a vessel to get me to earth. And that's how I have to view it. Yeah. And that's how, you know what I'm saying? That's how it's fucking like coming about. That's how I'm processing it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll be sitting up talking about, woe is me. I'm 32 and I've never had a dad. Fuck that. I got to move on with my life.
Sometimes, and I talked to my friend today about it, sometimes people have to understand folks are just in your life for a lesson for you or for them. And it doesn't mean anything bad on you. It's just passing by, and you just got to move and navigate.
Yeah. And it just brings so much peace to me to understand that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it takes me out of the victim role, for one. It helps me to stay in front of my life. Yes. You know what I'm saying? And then it helps me to just honor myself.
Honor yourself and heal?
Yeah.
Honor yourself and heal?
Yeah. It's just fucking incredible. Because, what do you do, Tony? Like, damn, you can't turn back the hands of time and be like, oh, well, find your dad. There's nothing I can do about it. What can I do? I can focus on me and how I want to move forward in life. Yeah. And that's my control piece.
That's definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. I love that piece, the control piece. Control.
So, how does your outlook on life affect you positively or negatively?
My outlook on life?
Yeah.
Shoot, I have a positive outlook on life.
Yeah, I can tell.
It wasn't always like that. I'm going to tell you right now. Oh, shit. You called me like 3-4 years ago. I'm about to slit my wrist. Because when you... No, it's dead ass, though. Dead ass. I've had so many... Man, I'm so real and true. I've had so many thoughts of suicide before. So many thoughts. So many different thoughts. It was one particular time, I was so angry at my dad. What you talking about? And my dad was in my life.
Yeah.
I was so angry because it was like, didn't have my mom, didn't know where my mom's was. My dad just kind of left me, and all the stuff that I felt my dad was supposed to teach me as a man, he wasn't teaching me. Even though I was like, oh man, I'm going to be 18. Don't ever say that, kids. Listen to Uncle B. Don't ever say when I get 18. Bad words. I'm 18, I'm finna do this, I'm finna do that.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, yo. You're not ready. Was I more ready than these kids are today? For sure.
Yeah.
Like, own crib, apartment, but things were a lot more, I'm going to say easier, but affordable.
They were.
Very much affordable, right?
Yeah.
And you wasn't in this cat race trying to outdo the person right on social media. Like, now we trying to outdo somebody in Atlanta that ain't got nothing to do with your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you see my homeboy in Atlanta? Oh, he got them. Oh, shit, watch what I'm finna do. Now you're going to put up your shit. Now we're in competition. We're in competition with the people that were circling around us. I mean, that's what it was, right?
That's true.
So, I had to let go of that hate, let go of that pain, talk to my auntie. My aunties broke down some real shit to me. I thank God for them. There was some rocks, man, during my moment in my time. I always knew how to be a father in a sense of, even though I was misdirected and I've done all type of dirt to make me not be a father, don't get locked up. But the powers that be, the Most High, didn't want that on my life, didn't want to claim that for my child.
Right.
Thank goodness. And never allowed my moments of insecurity, my moment of feeling such like a failure, my moments of harboring all the things that are now catching back on me, that's haunting me, the things that I didn't learn, like in school, I didn't participate in, all these things now coming back like full circle. It didn't allow me to destroy me. It kept me in this place where I kept fighting. And then, like I said, when I had that epiphany, after going in and out the game, 1 minute I'm square, back on the hustle, 1 minute I'm square, back on the hustle, then finally saying in 2008, September, it was my last Coke deal. I'll be having to, I have to state that because it'd be real. Like, my last day of Coke. I had one of those in my Lexus with my mans, no registration, no L's, and I'm going here moving in Sacramento serving cocaine, right? Last bit of Coke, and the transformation that I had to go through, the up and down cycle, I finally emerged to be okay. And I was like, oh, okay. And I utilized my talents to open a floodgate. And that's, I think, where I was starting to become at peace. Though I had, I believe, some successes, I ended up falling back into that depression because everything was kind of ripped again. And it was like, dude, like what's going on? Like, here we go again. And it was almost to a point of like, am I ever going to be in that place? And I remember having meditation time and saying a prayer, and my daughter was about to be a senior. And I was just like, I cannot be the man, whoever that was I'm speaking to, right? Goddess or God, whatever. I cannot be the man that I'm supposed to be. The man that I've envisioned when I'm having these thoughts, when I came up with this, and it came up with this idea. And what I believed, if I changed my life and just really followed this righteous path, I can't be this without first having stable income, being able to provide to my daughter. I can't be on her senior year trying to figure it out when she's like, hey, so what were you doing for my graduation? And I'm like, oh, you know what I'm saying? We're having finger foods.
For sure.
I have to, not only for my daughter, but for the other kids that follow me, I have to be a vehicle of what they want to be. How can I gravitate and get these kids to change if I'm not walking in the person that I want to be? I promise you, I said this. I was meditating, saying all this stuff, and I promise you, just like a snap of the finger, everything just started. And I also said, I deserve now to have it in abundance. And I'm not talking about just on a good, because, I have a good year. Like 2009 was like, hey, let's have high five. 2010, then 2011, 2012, 2013, where's the gun? I'm going to shoot myself. Like, put the gun in my mouth. Literally.
Wow.
I needed stability. I needed to.
Yeah.
And it's just been been all of the things. I no longer was victim. I no longer was holding on to pains. I was no longer blaming this. Oh, that girlfriend that she did. I wasn't, well, if my partner did. And I let it all go. And I said, I'm manifesting in me. I'm creating so much of who I am, and I'm learning who I am as a black man in America, but a black man in society. And I'm not going to be walking and moving in fear.
Yeah.
What else do I have to lose besides not giving my all? Give my all. Yeah. Sacrifice. Do something that you ain't done before, brother. Step out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Stepped out of that comfort zone. I stopped being a nigga. Yeah. And I started being a man. I cut that part out. Slowly, by the years, I've been giving up weed because I was about my hustle. I was like, shit, can't get high off your own supplies. So I don't worry about that. But I stopped being in the streets, stopped being in the clubs, stopped yearning for fast money, and then stopped drinking alcohol. Like, these things all started to slowly process. And these things, when I look at my outlook now, I can see without clouds. Yeah. It's not foggy. Because I was able to, one, trust the process, believe in self, and understand purpose. And then when I started learning that and knowing that what my child needs, she needs to see someone replicating someone that's powerful, that did it the way he's supposed to, and did it out of love and to show her legacy building. This is how you create your legacy. My father was a strong man, but didn't know what it was in his heart. I'm showing her not only a strong man, but I'm also showing her what's in my heart. And being able to have her come on the ride with me, which is a beautiful thing. We just got done traveling. We travel all the time together. You know what I'm saying? So that, to me, is like the outlook. I just see I'm going to continue doing the work and continue doing it purposely, intentively, as far as a lot of intentional, and then also just really cement the legacy of what I saw, say, redefining the black male. Changing what they see as who we are.
Which is a part of the purpose of this as well.
Yes.
Is to showcase another side of the black man, because all I see on social media is the bad stuff. You guys are pimps, players, you guys got your, jeans halfway down your ass half the time, and
we trying to be famous, so we trying to, what I'm saying, we trying to be Billy Badass. And most niggas ain't hard.
And I don't know that.
No, they're not.
And I don't know if you guys have feelings at all.
No, we got plenty of feelings. You can always tell the nigga's emotional. Look how the nigga behaves. What do you mean? We got the most sensitive and most emotional niggas that you've ever had in life. Like, back in the era where I was coming from, you couldn't tell. Niggas was hardcore. Like, okay, that nigga was hard. You know what I'm saying? Don't care. And you got to understand, when brothers start losing core values, like I have core values and standards, and niggas start losing codes, and when niggas start yapping, and there's no disrespect with my queens, because my queens are about it. So I don't want to say this phrase and make it feel like our women are this way. But when niggas start gossiping like women, you know what I'm saying? And that's no disrespect to my queens, because I've had some of the hardest core of the queens holding me down. So shout out to the queens. Love y'all. I'm a big fan. You start seeing that this generation currently is in big trouble. Why? Because they have not been able to control or be in tune with their emotions. I've probably cried more in my last 5 years than I did in my life, because what was told to me as a man doesn't cry. I'm a strong, that only pussies cry. But every time a nigga will get angry, nigga start getting those tears. I've cried for joyous times. I've cried when I was just hurting, and that flushed out the things that needed to flush out, and it felt awesome. It felt good. I didn't feel like I was a weak dude. I'm very good with my masculinity. You know what I'm saying? And my masculinity isn't a curse. It's a blessing. I know that I'm man. I like women. You know what I'm saying? Hey, girl. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, I know how to dress fly. I mean, I'm not, and it's not, I have sensitivity, but I'm not overly sensitive. Like, you can't tell me nothing. You know what I'm saying?
No, we are, like I said, I call us the lost generation for a reason.